Hi everybody. Okay. I don't know what to do because my hair is like not acting right. I don't. Now I know why people wear hats. Okay, because I can't do anything with this thing. All right. So I felt bad about the Steven Spielberg thing yesterday. I didn't mean to reduce him to two movies. This man has done more movies than years I've been alive, probably. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a short list of his credits, but no, there are a lot more. Okay. All right. I've already talked about E.T. There was also Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Schindler's List, um, Catch Me If You Can, uh, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I believe. There's a lot. And also the one I talked about yesterday, Saving Private Ryan, and also another one I'm going to talk about today, Castaway. Now, like I said, if you want to look at his entire IMDb, have at it. I'm sorry, Steven Spielberg, if you ever watch this. I did not mean to take your life into 5 credits. Okay? Making amends. I'm sorry, sir. Okay, now to talk about Castaway here. Um, the film was made in 2000 and stars Tom Hanks, Helen Hunt, and uh, let's see, Chris Noth is in there, and Larry Lari White. Okay, the reason why all these people are significant is because the story follows a guy named Chuck Noland. Alright. So, and before you ask, it is not a true story, but it's based on true events. Okay? Because apparently the writer, Robert Broyles, Broyles, um, isolated himself in an island and wrote about his experiences. And also, the director, Robert Zemeckis, has to be one of the best directors I think I've seen. Or yeah, hold on. Director, uh, yeah. Okay, so, um, and Tom Hanks was also a producer on the film. But there are a lot of producers and a lot of different people who go into a film. Okay? Um, so there's a lot of special effects in this movie, which I think a lot of the guys like, but even I liked it because I was like, wow, didn't know you could do that with that kind of stuff. Didn't know that, but it's awesome. Okay, so the character, Chuck Nolan, is a worker for FedEx, one of the biggest shippers in the country, in the US, probably in any country. Okay, so he is a executive at FedEx. He is one of the guys who makes sure that your stuff gets there on time. And he's all about time and clocks and everything. He had a timer clock up above his head. Then he shipped himself a mini clock with the time going off and says 87 hours and change is too long. We need to better this time. So it's all about time, okay? And his girlfriend, Helen Hunt, in the film, gives him a watch, a pocket watch, given to her by her uncle, grandfather, and uh, gave it to him, before he left on the flight. And um, she plays a woman named Kelly Frears, Frears. Okay, so before the flight, her friends and her meet up with him for dinner, right? So they're given a lot of grief about uh, when are you going to make Kelly an honest woman? And little do they know that I think he was planning on proposing to her on New Year's Eve. Because when he got out of the car, because he drove himself to the airport, okay? So he got out of the car so that she could drive herself back home. Well, before he got out of the car, he gives her this little bitty box, but it's wrapped up. But he says, don't open it until New Year's Eve, and I'll be back New Year's Eve. Apparently, there was something going on for New Year's Eve, beside a party or something, because she mentioned it 3 times. Please be home for New Year's Eve. So, okay, yeah. But of course, that never happens because he took the flight, and spoiler alert, I should have said this before I started, but spoiler alert, he doesn't make it because his flight goes down and he survives the crash, but it's a crash. And so he's left on this island in the middle of nowhere. And so he is completely alone. And we see most of his journey. I don't think that, because here's the thing. You're supposed to believe that he was gone for 4 years. Now, given that the movie had 2.5 hours to portray this, I don't think he saw 4 years of time elapse. Although it was supposed to, because you're supposed to believe, because of his appearance, that some time has elapsed. Right. Okay. So in that way, I'd say some time elapsed, but 4 years, I don't know. But then again, I don't really think most people exactly remember exactly down to the T what they looked like 4 years ago versus today. So it may or may not have been 4 years, but you're supposed to believe it was 4 years. So in the 4 years, first of all, she never gave up on him. But her family and friends were telling her, it's been so long, you need to give up, it's not healthy, all that talk. So I think she begrudgingly gave up, but not in her heart. Because if you look at it, when he was captured and, rescued from that island, after the fact, he came to her house in a taxi cab, and she shows her all. She shows him all the stuff, and part of the stuff includes a map that you look like when you're trying to find somebody. So she apparently they hired planes to look for him, but they were in the wrong area, so that's why they didn't find him, right? Okay, so then she shows him the map and the line of the pathway they were supposed to take, and according to that, where they found him and all this stuff. So that evidence shows me she was still looking for him and holding out hope. Now, okay, as far as symbolism goes, the symbolism is strong in this movie, but you have to look for it. And also, I have to note that, of course, if you knew the plot, you kind of knew he was going to be found anyway. But even if you didn't know that, then the little hints all through the movie gave you clues. Okay, because a couple weeks into his being isolated, he comes across the body of one of his coworkers. And the sad part is he was calling him the wrong name the whole time. So he kind of rectifies this by making a makeshift gravestone for him. Okay? And then he takes off his shoes and wears his shoes. And also, he starts opening up FedEx boxes. And in one FedEx box, he gets a pair of skates. So what he does is he uses the edge of the blade to sharpen stuff to help himself out. And then he used stuff that he had with him to create fire. And then that's how he cooked his meals, shall we say, so that he could eat pretty regular. Because for the first couple days, all he was drinking is a coconut milk, or the water out of a coconut. And yeah, the sad part is you need water before you need food, but you still need food. So, yeah, but you basically see all his journey the whole time, right? Okay, so then, and then also, as far as symbolism, there's this box, FedEx box with wings on it, but he never opens it. So, me being the nosy person I am, looked into it, did a bit of research last night, and I wondered why he never opened the box. And they said that he never opened the box because it symbolized hope. So if he opened the box, it would symbolize that he accepted his fate and that he was never going to leave the island, right? So if he never opens the box, then perceptively he has hope, right? Okay. Okay, and then they also said that in another script, because here's the thing about movies. I've never really talked about this part, but I know it's a part. Okay. Movies come in stages. There has to be a script, and there has to be, direction and lighting and special effects and clothes, wardrobe, all the things, right? But most times, a script goes through many drafts before we ever see it on screen. So in one of the first drafts, it is determined what's in that box. But it's not as exciting as you think. And ultimately, they scrapped the script because they didn't want to go that way. Plus, I guess they wanted the audience to think for themselves and to wonder what was in the box. So that was part of the reason it was never shown or never told. Okay. But then also, way later in the movie, and I mean way later, we see Tom Hanks in his car, and he's taking a cross-country trip, and he's gonna decide which way to go. Just so happens he comes across a woman in a pickup truck, and she has the same angel wings that were on the box, the FedEx box. So we kind of know subliminally that she's supposed to be part of this future, but we don't know how. Because she's supposed to be the symbol of hope for the future. So yeah, that's how they're all tied in. And she's also the character, the woman named Larry White. Lari White. And oh, how Chris knows is in here. Okay, so after the 4 years, or before 4 years, when his girlfriend moved on, I guess, she moved on with him, but he plays a dentist in this movie, but it's Chris Noth. I know Chris Noth. Okay, I've seen him. He was in Law and Order and Sex in the City and a bunch of stuff. I know his face. So, yes, that's how everything is connected. Like I said, I hope I did everything justice, and if I got something a little wrong, I'm so sorry. All right, bye guys.